So have you guys ever heard of the Randonautica app? If you're unfamiliar with this app, this app is creepy as shit. On the surface, it seems fine. Randonautica is an app that generates coordinates based upon user intent. And when I say user intent, I absolutely mean user intent. When you generate the coordinates, you think of what you want to find at the end of that coordinates. For example, you might think truth, and you hit the coordinates, and you go to the end of the coordinates, and you might find something that is truth-based, or show you a truth. And the darker you get with it, the worse it gets. I don't suggest it. And the reason why I don't suggest it is because I did it. 2 years ago, I started doing the ghost hunting stuff. And when somebody told me that, hey, you should try the Randonautica app, I'm like, that's fine. Because if I can do ghost hunting at night by myself, this app is no big deal. So I tried the app. But did I try it in the middle of the day? Hell no. I set a 1 mile radius and I focused my intent on something dark, something scary. And the app kicked out some coordinates. It was 1 mile into the woods behind my house. I am familiar with the woods behind my house, but this one was just off the beaten path a little bit. So I grabbed the flashlight and headed out. Now these woods aren't new to me. I've walked them 100 times on lives, walking around by myself, hunting ghosts with the ghost apps. For some reason, this one felt different. When I started through the woods, I kind of got scared because I didn't know what I was going to find. And I knew I was going to find something. I kept checking the app, making sure that I was going in the right direction, and I was. I got about 50 yards from the coordinates, and the deer trail that I was following towards it, it just stopped. So I had to force my way through the brush for 50 yards. Give or take, it might have been 20 yards for all I know. I was scared at this point. I started getting close to the point, and I saw that the woods kind of cleared out a little bit. There was a small clearing there, and that's when the hair on the back of my neck stood up. The app generated a point where there was little to no trees. I walked around this spot for about 2 minutes, and then I saw an old coffee can, and it was a Folgers coffee can from probably the 1970s. It didn't have a lid on it. I looked inside of it, and there were, honest to God, animal bones in that coffee can, and I was like, I'm done. I am freaking done. I am out of here. I turned to walk away. And as I started back, I had to check to make sure that I was heading in the right direction because it's dark. When I looked down at my phone, I noticed that I was standing right next to another pile of bones. Now, this was like an animal that had just deceased and had just laid there and rotted. It had been there for a long time. I start back towards the tree line and I see 2 more piles of bones. The one pile of bones was stacked up on top of each other, and then I thought about that damn coffee can. Somebody put those bones in that coffee can, and that's when I heard something behind me. On the other side of that clearing, something big was moving through the brush. It was probably a deer, but I was not going to stick around and find out. So I pushed through the trees all the way back to the spot where I thought the deer trail was. It took me forever to find the deer trail. When I finally found the deer trail, I was freaking gone. I booked it out of there. When I got back home, I deleted that app. I went back to doing ghost hunts only. I went back to talking to spirits in the cemetery and in the woods because I'll be damned if I ever go back over there again. You might be wondering, is this really your story, Alan, or did you just pull something off of the internet? No, dude. No, this is my story. 100% my story. I fully intended when I arrived at those coordinates to open up the ghost app and talk to the spirits at the coordinates because that would be cool, right? No, hell's to the no. I did not get a chance to do that because I got, honest to God, scared and I booked it out of there. The worst part about it is, how does this app know? How does this app know that you're gonna find what you're gonna find at the coordinates? I have read so much shit on the internet and I have watched all kinds of YouTube videos about this app, stories that are much worse than this one, but stories that I 100% believe because I've had an experience exactly like this. Have you ever tried this app? And if so, tell me your story, because this app is one of the things that made me believe that we live inside of a simulation. But I want to know what you think. Damn it, man.